Hello everyone, this is Jason Hodges from AgTerra. We will begin in about 1 minute. Hello everyone, and welcome to the SprayLogger Advanced webinar. My name is Jason Hodges, and I do a lot of the SprayLogger support here at AgTerra. This webinar will cover advanced SprayLogger topics and assume that you have a basic understanding of SprayLogger. Just to let you know how this will be structured, I'm going to put everyone on mute while I cover the scheduled topics. We will also have someone on the GoToMeeting chat line if you want to type in a question there. This webinar is going to be recorded also, so we'll send you a link to the recording as well as the slides from our presentation when this webinar is over. The topics I'm going to cover today should take about 45 minutes. After that, everyone will be unmuted and you'll have a chance to ask questions. I ask that during the question segment that any questions be specific to what I covered today. If you have any questions that go beyond what we covered today, you can call or email our office after this, and we'll be happy to answer those questions for you. I'll have our contact information up on the screen at the end of the presentation. I do want to let you know that a lot of what I'm going to show today are tools and features that are for administrators only. So if you only have user permissions on your account, you won't see most of these options when you're on the SprayLogger website, but it'll give you a good idea on ways that you can help your administrator. So, some of the concepts that we're going to be covering today. In the first section, we're going to review how to capture custom information. We're going to do this via a Strider form, our forms and reporting tool that is generally used with MapItFast, but we now have the ability to attach that to a SprayLogger report. This gives you the ability to collect information beyond what is normally done. For instance, this can be used with advanced capture requirements for EdMaps or for NISMs for the BLM. So we'll review how to enable a Strider form to be used with SprayLogger. From the field, how that form can be used by the applicator and attached to a spray application. And then from the desktop side for an administrator, how to review that, how to edit it as needed, or to attach an additional Strider form to your spray application. In the next section, we'll cover some advanced administration. We'll go over how to generate a summary by date and by customer. From those, you can also generate a CSV. This is a great way to see a general snapshot of things that are going on with your application. After that, we'll learn how to merge jobs and applications. That can be really useful if you have applications that are assigned to the wrong jobs from the field, and a couple other reasons. And we'll review those in detail. Next, we'll go over how to upload Kestrel weather data. So if you have a handheld weather device using a Kestrel 4000 and 5000, we'll review how to take that weather data that's captured in the field and upload it and assign it to a spray application. Next, we'll go over how to upload GPX files to applications, why that can be helpful and applicable to your spray jobs. And in the last section, we'll review how to export to MapItFast. So if you have any jobs or applications that you would like to bring over into MapItFast, either as a layer set or an object, we'll show you how to do that and show you the best practices method on reviewing that information, either in a MapItFast project or a layer set, and talk about the differences between the two. So let's get right into it. We're going to go and review advanced data collection using Strider forms with SprayLogger. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and open up Strider. To get here, you can either go to the login page at agterra.com/login, or you can go directly to forms.agterra.com and enter in your information. Once you're here, you're going to be on the home page. You want to go to Forms and Reports, and the first option down is Forms Management. When you click on this, you're going to see all the forms that you have on the account. Again, this makes the assumption that you have gone through the Strider training and that you've created some Strider forms. And so when you see your forms, we're going to explore how to then activate that for SprayLogger. I have one in mind that I'd like to turn on. So what you do is find the same. In this case, you just search for what you want. Click on the Edit option over here on the right-hand side where you see the options for adjusting your form. And then from here, you'll see some different options. What you want is type. By default, whenever you create a Strider form, it's going to default to Map It Fast and Strider, meaning it's available for those applications only. If you click on this box, you'll see a number of options. If you'd like to have it as a Strider-only form, a Map It Fast form, and so on. What you want is the SprayLogger, Map It Fast, and Strider form option. This will enable it for all three applications. Once you're done, you can hit Save. This form is now activated and ready to use for SprayLogger. So let's go and take a look at the application to see what the field user will see when they get out in the field. So here we have Map It Fast open on the application. What you want to do is start a job. The reason we start a job first is to make sure that the Strider form is assigned to the application that is currently being run. Now, there is an option to do this after the fact from the desktop side, and we'll review that in a few minutes. So for now, we're going to go ahead and hit Start Job. In this case, I have a pre-selected one. All the presets are already filled out, and I can hit Start Job. I've got a big blob here, and we're actually going to address this later and show you how you can get rid of this and have some additional lines on here. Once the job is going, the applicator is then able to attach a Strider form. It's going to expand the window, and there's a form tool right here. Once that is clicked, any available forms that are currently assigned to other applications will show up in this window. For now, we don't have anything, so we want to do Add SprayLogger Forms. And from here, we can see the list of available forms. And there's our weed survey. Once you click on that, it's going to gather the form, and then you'll begin to fill it out. You can hit Go to Start and begin the form. Now, I'm not going to fill out all of these because you do have the ability to start it and just fill out questions as you need to. We're going to go ahead and go to the end and save form and exit. And so now if I click on this, you'll see weed spray. And you can do the same thing. So at any point during the application, they've got the ability to go back to this, your applicator has the ability to go back to this form, click on it, and see it there. If they'd like to make any adjustments to it, all they have to do is click on these three dots, and there are some options for sending it in, editing it, and deleting it. You'll want to make sure that the job has been completed or the application's been completed before you send it in, because all the data needs to be synced up with the server. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Edit again, and just make some minor adjustments here. I'm going to go ahead and just grab a GPS location. So there I go. Again, I'm not really concerned at this particular moment to finish this, So I'm going to go ahead and hit go to end and save form and exit. I'm pretty happy with the information that I have right now. So we want to go ahead and hit stop job. Now, at this point, you have the ability to go and click the form tool, click on your three dots, and hit send. If you do that, though, before it has synchronized, you're going to get a warning message that says the spray lines have not yet gone to the server. And it's going to ask you if you want to send it in any way. I would advise that you don't, so I'm going to click no and hit close. Then you wait for this job to sync up. One of the ways that you can speed up this process is go to the settings tool, hit force sync, find your job, and then force sync. And then you can see as the lines begin to go into the cloud account. And this is once you have online service. If you're offline, you'll need to wait until you can get into an area where you have service. I'm happy with what's been done. So let's go back to forms and send this in. Once it's done, you'll get a message that says it's successful and it's now been removed from your device and is on the cloud. And that's all the applicator has to do from the application standpoint. Next, what we want to do is review what this looks like on the desktop side. Let's go ahead and go back to the website. And from here, we're going to go to the SprayLogger website. And here we have our different options for jobs and maps, exporting data, reports. This information, initially to review it, we want to see it under jobs and maps. The job I used for this was Sheridan. So we want to click on the edit button. And then from here, we can see all of our various applications. You can click on the edit tool and then scroll almost to the bottom. And then from here, if I want to add any new forms or edit any existing forms, I can hit add new forms. I can select and I can make any adjustments. We want to go ahead and do that now. Let's just do a quick weed survey and hit add. And from here, let's go ahead and fill out a quick form. We can add a weed site if you want, fill in the GPS coordinates if you want to, add any weeds as you need to. And you can continue to do this as needed. You can go ahead and sign this, even have it emailed. And we can save that. You can also go back and look at any previous ones that have been on any other jobs or any other applications. So for instance, I can go back to this previous one and I can view it by clicking on it and looking at it in Strider. So here I have all the details that were initially captured. This is my metadata. And then I can look over here at my repeat groups. So in this case, anytime I got to a new location, I open up the form and selected a new weed. And I have that information there with its long and lat and any other details. If I want, I can even generate a report from Excel, or you could export it. In this case, we'll go ahead and close that out. I'm happy with the details. Now, from this point, if the admin would like to generate a report, you can do so. And let's go to reports. Let's find the job. Now, next thing you're going to want to do is hit show and include added Strider reports. Once you do that, go ahead and click generate report. Now, as you scroll down on the report, in this case, you have two boxes. You have the initial metadata, so this is the information I've collected on the form, and then I also have the repeat group. So in the form, I was looking for different weeds to collect at different locations or the information on them. And here I've got baby's breath and the associated details. And as you scroll down through the report, anytime a Strider report was associated with an application, you're going to see those details. From this point, if you would like to print this report or save it, you can either hit the print button in the top right-hand corner, or you can hit the save icon and save it as a PDF or Word document. A note on this is that the Strider information only is visible on the report side. So when you generate a paper report or you save it as a Word document or PDF, that is where this information is visible. If you would like to have it exported, you'll go ahead and need to open up that report over in Strider under Forms and Reports, find your particular report, and then export it as a separate export. And so you'll have an export from your SprayLogger job as well as an export from Strider. But for your initial printout, this is where your data will show up, is on the Strider printable report. So let's review what we've gone over in this particular section. We reviewed how using Strider forms can capture additional data that is not initially collected by SprayLogger. General information that is collected are gallons sprayed, acres sprayed, start and stop times, applicator details. But if you have advanced information, such as specific weed locations, if you're capturing additional information for NISMs for the BLM, for EDMAPs or other systems like this, or you have advanced requirements by your customer, then using a Strider form as an attachment will enable you to collect those details. We showed you how to go into the Strider website and edit a Strider form so that it could be used for SprayLogger. From there, we opened up the application and show how you can start and select and attach a Strider form, how to edit that application, that application Strider form from the SprayLogger application at any time during the application, how to save, edit, or delete it, or send it into the application Strider form, how to send in the application Strider form, how to review and edit it from the desktop side as an administrator, how to add a Strider form from a desktop, a brand new one under Jobs and Maps section, and how to generate a report with that Strider form. In this next section, we're going to go over additional desktop administration tools. For that, let's go back to the SprayLogger website. The first section that we're going to go over is summary by date and summary by customer. This is a helpful way to view a snapshot of your company and what's going on, or your organization. You have a couple of filters. Let's go ahead and put in our date range and then hit Generate Report. From here, between this date range, all of your jobs are going to be grouped together. From here, you can see who the customer is by the job name, application number, the date, applicator, spray rig, tank mix, gallons applied, distance treated, and acres treated. And as you scroll down, you can see all this information grouped together. Additionally, you can have these sorted by customer versus by job name. We'll go ahead and put in the same date range and hit Generate Report. Now, this is relatively quick. Don't have many two jobs in here, so the more jobs that you have, the longer this report will take, but it will generate. And so here I have this sorted by the customer. And so again, this is a great way to view just a quick snapshot of the details for your organization. And then you can also generate that as a CSV. And again, depending on the size and number of jobs that you have, this may take a little bit. In this case, I only have a few in here, so it only took a moment. And so here you can see those same details, but in a CSV. This is handy if you want to create your own reports using Excel. The next thing that we're going to review is how to merge and separate SprayLogger jobs. So we want to go to Records and then Merge Applications. Now, a reason that you may want to consider this is, let's face it, mistakes happen. People are human. Applicators get in the field, they want to get to spraying, and by mistake, they may select the wrong job or the wrong customer and have an application assigned to the wrong place. This gives administrators the ability to move applications around as needed to correct those mistakes. So we have a number of jobs here. You can sort them by customer and by date as needed. In this case, I have a couple of backpack jobs, and as I expand them by clicking on the plus button, I can see the applications that are inside. Now, in this circumstance, there's an application here that is not where it needs to be. I want this 101 to go down to this section. And so I can check next to the job names, this little checkbox, and then you can hit merge. When you do that, you're going to see all the applications that are within those jobs, and then I'm going to see my two jobs as well. You want to go ahead and deselect the ones that you don't want, select the job that you want the application moved into, and then hit merge. As you do that, you're going to see a message that says it's complete, and the page will refresh in just a few seconds. Now, as I expand this, I can see that 101 was moved where I wanted it to go. The other option that you have, and we'll select just this particular application or this particular job, is you can select merge, and then from here you can see the two applications. We'll just deselect that one. So the option you have now is for new job name. So you'd be able to put in a new job name. And what will happen is this information will go into a brand new job. This can be particularly helpful if you have an applicator who did not create a new job name, who went on continuing with his current job and had the application assigned to it. What you can also do, and I say this with a warning, is if you have a number of jobs by a number of applicators that were created for one customer, and you want to merge that into a single job, this would be a way to do that. However, the more applications that you put under a single job can cause that job to load slow, to generate reports slow, to download CSV slow. It can really make it cumbersome. So use this with caution. If you have an instance like that, you may want to consider doing the customer name in a version 1, version 2, version 3, and splitting them up among several jobs. But you can go ahead and hit merge from this point, and it will tell you that it's successful, and then it will refresh the page. Now I can see the third job, Backpack 3. From this point, and to give you another bit of information concerning new jobs, we want to go back to the main SprayLogger website, go to Jobs and Maps. Let's go ahead and find that. And you want to hit the Edit button. Now, the reason being is while the application moved over appropriately and the job ID is here, the customer name has not been selected. And so you want to make sure that those details are filled in, and then if you have any additional comments, and then you can save and exit. Lastly, if you are merging jobs and applications, you'll want to make sure that that job is no longer accessed or used from the field because it can cause synchronization errors. So for instance, this shared in backpack job, if I've made adjustments to it and I've moved things around, you'll want to make sure that from the field, the applicator begins a new job, maybe shared in backpack 2 or 3, whatever the case may be, so that this application is no longer used. Some of the errors that can cause is that if you go in here and applications are created, you'll see application numbers 101, 102, 103 as applications are created. Those numbers can go on top of each other. We do have an auto naming system. Generally that takes care of it, but you just don't want to risk it. You just make sure that the applicators in the field begin a new job name. So just a word of caution on that particular point. Next, what we're going to review is how to upload optional weather data using a Kestrel 4000 or 5000. Let's go ahead and show a picture of what that looks like. So this is just a little handheld weather device, and the feature I'm about to show you is specific to only the Kestrel 4000 or 5000, and it is strictly optional. Before we go into how to upload that information, what we'll want to review first is maybe another alternative. So let's go back and take a look at the application. When you're in the field, if you have internet, weather data will automatically appear and be associated with your application automatically here in this little weather box as you are spraying. However, if you're in an area where you do not have an internet connection and you have a handheld weather device, what you can do, and what most people do, is take a reading from the handheld device, click on this box, and then from here, you can actually set this to manual and manually adjust these settings. And so you have temperature, humidity, wind direction, and even inversion. And then you can click update. And so pretty quickly and easily, you can read settings off of your handheld weather device, and then you can enter them here on your application. Now, the other method, which we're going to review here, is on those Kestrel 4000 and 5000, they have the ability to save those weather settings as a CSV document. And that document looks like this. I have the timestamp and then all my readings. This timestamp is important. You're not going to be able to take weather data from before or after the application. This information needs to be collected while the application is underway. So you have that CSV, you're going to download it to your desktop. Once you're there, you can go to Records and then upload Kestrel data. From here, you can filter through to find your application by year, by job, by application number, and then you can choose your Kestrel CSV file and then hit Submit, and that will upload your information. So pretty simple to do, but purely optional. Now, the next tool that we're going to review is to upload a GPX. Let's go back to the application and talk a little bit about why that may be useful. First off, it is strictly optional. We want to go ahead and start a job, and let's show you that blob again. So where this can be helpful is if you are doing hose reel work, specifically hose reels that have very long links. The SprayLogger system connects to your mobile device via a Bluetooth connection. And so if you get out of your rig and you start walking away, Bluetooth has a finite distance before it will cut off and then you'll stop recording. And so this enables you to have no limitations on the distance of your truck. So for instance, if you have a device that cuts off around 50 feet or so, or 100 feet or so, and you have 600 feet of hose, what do? Well, what is okay for most people is that you can still get out with your hose reel, leave your mobile device in the vehicle to keep the job running, get out of your vehicle and go walk around with your hose reel and spray as needed. As you do that around your vehicle, you're going to get these blobs. Now, these blobs are still reading and reporting correctly for your gallons applied and your acres applied. However, you may not like just visually what this looks like, and rather, you may want these lines, the green lines for no spray and the blue lines for spray lines. You may want to have that fall around. You have a couple of options for that. If you have a third-party GPS device, such as a Garmin, that exports out a GPX, that information can be useful. So you would keep your MapItFast mobile device running in the cab with SprayLogger running on it, recording these details. You would start your GPX device or GPS device and go out and begin to spray. The other option that you can do is using a second mobile device with MapItFast running on it with another license. If you do that, up in the top right-hand corner, we have a GPS box. You can click on that, and you can hit Start Track. Now, as you do this, it'll ask you to put in a name. And a description if you want, and you can start that. Now, as you go back, anywhere you walk, and you can see a red light blinking right here, indicating that's recording. Anywhere that you walk, you will have a GPX track that will follow you. Once you're done with the application, you can hit stop. Stop your GPX track. And that's it, as far as recording the information goes. And this is important. This information is time-stamped, so you want to make sure that you are recording the GPX track while you are spraying the job. Now, once you have that information, you'll want to go back to your device and open up your file system. In this case, I have my files, and that's pretty common. From here, you want to open up internal storage, go to AgTerra, and then to tracks. And then from here, you can see all of your tracks. The best way to get this to your desktop is to simply email it to yourself. And so you'll want to open up your default email tool, navigate to this location, and then select your track, and then email it to yourself so that you then have it available on your desktop. Once you have it on your desktop, let's look at how that information is uploaded. So under Records, you have Upload GPX. And just like uploading the Kestrel file, you're going to select the year, the job, the application, and then you're going to find your GPX. Just to show you what that looks like, you'll have a file that looks like this. It'll say GPX file, and then that will be uploaded. So then what that will do is, again, back when we viewed the application, we had that giant blob. That blob will go away, and instead it will be replaced with that track, following you wherever you want and having spray and no spray lines on your mapping. And so then your information will look appropriate to your track. Again, this is purely optional, not required in any way, shape, or form, just an adjustment that can be made if you wish. So, to review what we covered in this section, we went over how to use the summary date by tool to quickly review jobs, how to use the summary by customer to quickly review customer details, how to merge and separate SprayLogger jobs and then using the merge application tool, how to upload weather data from a Kestrel 4000 or 5000 using the upload Kestrel tool. We explained how GPX files can help convert or correct spray blobs from hose reel use, how to create a GPX file from the MapItFast app by tapping the top left GPS display box, and then how to upload and add a GPX file to the spray record via the SprayLogger website. We also have a dedicated guide for GPX importing on our help site. This link is live in the PDF, and that is the password to access it. Lastly, we're going to review in this last section how to export spray jobs into MapItFast. So uses for this may be so that you can review previous year's worth of information in MapItFast as a guide. That can either be brought in as an object, and we'll review how to do that, or as a layer set, and there's pros and cons to both. But first, we need to get the data. And so you can hit Export Data, select the job that you want, and make sure that it is as a shape file. This is very important. Once you're done, you can hit Download, and that'll usually download to your Downloads folder, but some devices may have different locations. Once you have that downloaded, let's go ahead and open that up and see what it looks like. So you're going to have a compressed or zipped folder. If you double click inside, you're going to see a number of file types. These are the file types that are utilized by MapItFast in order to display your data properly. You have your CPG, DBF, PRJ, shapefile, and SHX. And you can see that we have various names. We have no spray, you have spray lines, you have multi-polygons, and then you have polygons at the bottom. And each have a different use. No spray, as it shows, or as it says, gives you the no spray lines that you want to see to indicate this is where I've traveled, but I've not sprayed. We do have an option for exporting where you can convert your polygons to lines, and this can be helpful in some other systems. And so that comes out. In this case, I'm going to ignore these because I didn't export out as a line, and I'm not going to utilize those. Next, I have multi-polygons. And so if you have an application, for instance, on a spray rig, where you have multiple spray booms that are going on and off, drawing multiple polygons, that's where these details come into play. And then I have single polygons. In this particular instance, this was a backpack application with only single polygons. So what I'm concerned about for this upload is just my polygons and then my no spray lines. So I'm going to back up a step, and what you want to do is right-click and select Extract All. Once you do that, that'll give you a window that confirms the folder that you want it in, and hit Extract. And so now I have a secondary folder. It's right there, and this has opened this up. Now, this is going to seem a little redundant, but what we want to do at this point is select the group. So we have these no spray selected, and all I did was I clicked with the mouse, I held down Shift, and I selected the bottom one as well. So I have this group of no spray selected. You right-click and send to compressed folder. So we're actually going to recompress these again. The next thing we want to do is for the same for the polygons. And so now we have our two compressed folders for our no spray and our polygons. So then the next thing that you want to do at this point is go to the MapItFast website. And you're going to want to select a job or create a job in which this information will go into. So the first thing we're going to show is how to bring this in as objects. Now, some of the pros and cons. as I bring these in as objects, a MapItFast project can only bring in a finite number of polygons. It's around 10,000. And so if you have a large amount of jobs, or if you have a large amount of data, it can really slow down if you have a ton of information that's in there. In this case, this is just a very simple job around the block. And so we want to go to Tools and Import Data. From here, we want to select our two folders. So we're going to do this one at a time. The no spray one first. And that'll tell us we've added 12 lines and 68 line points to the shapefile. And as you zoom in, we can see that information there. We want to do the next folder. And we'll see this information come in just a moment. And so now we can see our spray and no spray information. And as you scroll over them, you can see the details. So as objects, you can click on these and you can edit them and adjust them as you needed. And you can bring in other spray jobs into this particular project as you need to. This would be available only on this particular project. And so if the applicator was in the field, in order to see this information of what was sprayed last year, they would have to open up this project, download it, and view it on. Another method that you can use is with layers. I'm going to go ahead and just turn on a layer and hit load. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit, just so you can see that information. And you'll start to see this come in just a moment. So layers let me see these same shapes, but they're a transparency. I can still map points, lines, and polygons. I don't have to worry about clicking on these by mistake and accidentally editing them or deleting them. And you can turn on multiple layers at the same time. And it doesn't matter what MapItFast job that you're, or MapItFast project you're on, that layer information will still show up. And so it's pretty handy that way. Additionally, you can load a large amount of data onto a layer set and still have your device function properly. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And let's zoom back in. So a couple of different ways that you can get this information in as a layer is if you have already downloaded it to a MapItFast project, you can select it. And then from here, you can go to the copy tool and then copy to layer set. And if you want, you can either create a new layer set or copy to a pre-existing one. A word of caution is that if you copy it to a pre-existing layer set by mistake, there is no way to get it out. There's no way to go in and to delete that information out of it. So make sure it is in the layer set that you want. When in doubt, just create a new one, because you can turn multiple layer sets on and off as needed. So that's method one. Method two is to go to Layers, Manage Layer Sets. And then from here, you can hit Create Layer Set, give it a name and a description, and then you can set access. Once that, just like the list you see here, you'll see it listed, select Upload Data, And then you can upload those same zipped folders that we use to upload into MapToFast. You can upload them here. And so again, by exporting out of SprayLogger and into MapToFast, you have the ability to view this information in MapToFast by either viewing your previous spray applications as reference for your applicators coming to the new year to see, hey, this is where we sprayed, this is where we didn't spray, as well as other functions. So to review, we covered how to export a SprayLogger job as a shapefile to your desktop from the Export Data tool, how to separate and zip spray and no spray polygons into individual compressed folders, how to create a project in MapToFast to import those shapefiles, how to import zip shapefiles into MapToFast project from the settings button, and then how to import zip files into MapToFast layer sets from the layers button. And that concludes our presentation for today. Additional online resources can be found at help.agterra.com. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at solutions@agterra.com. And at this point, I'm going to unmute everybody, and we will have a question and answer session here for the next 10-15 minutes. All right, lines are open. How can we help you? Please ask away. If you have any questions concerning the information that we've covered during this meeting, let us know. Okay, well, thank you everybody for coming and participating. We appreciate your time. A recording of this will be sent to everybody by the end of the day, as well as the slides in a PDF format with the links. There'll also be links to the other webinars that we have done over the past few weeks. This is the last webinar of the series. We appreciate everybody's time and patience and their ability to come and participate. If you have any questions pertaining to your account or additional questions on materials not covered here today, please give us a call or email us 307-673-1050 or solutions@agterra.com. Thank you and have a wonderful. I'm sorry, what? Thank you and have a wonderful day.